This is not going to be your typical how to cure your food baby bloat video. Hey everyone, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen Outside the Kitchen. Today is going to be a bit of a vlog video, and I'm going to take you along with me on a bit of a journey that I'm having. I thought it might be interesting because I bet there are some of you who are secretly, silently struggling with something very similar. Gas pain. Kind of a little bit of a less sexy topic when we compare it to something like stomach bloating, which, as I always say, has kind of become the socially acceptable code word for how to lose weight. But I gotta be honest, even though obviously I am dealing with severe bloating as a result of this gas pain, this is so not my priority. Like, this has nothing to do with the size or shape of my belly. Hard stop. Now, before we get into things, of course, my general disclaimer is on the screen as well as in the description below if you want to check that out. But this may be a bit of a embarrassing and uncomfortable conversation for most people to have. But I gotta tell you, as a dietitian, nothing bowel related phases me. Dietitians talk about poop all day, every day. But a bit of a backstory. So pregnancy and postpartum and all of that totally wreaked havoc on my digestion. Now, most moms or moms-to-be deal with a lot of constipation. That's like a typical pregnancy side effect, and it sucks. But I didn't have that problem. I had the opposite problem. I was having a hard time keeping things in, like, to put it vaguely. Just trying to keep things clean here, folks. Literally, as soon as I gave birth, that all seemed to resolve itself. But instead, what I got was this like debilitating gas pain and bloating pain. Now, like I always say, it is 100% normal for your belly to expand and contract throughout different times of the day or different times of the week or month. We need to normalize these bodily processes. We really do. Like, we can't expect everyone to just wake up in the morning with a flat stomach and go to bed at night with a flat stomach. Just not realistic. But I would like to, of course, fix this problem, not so much because, of any aesthetic reasons or because it doesn't look so hot, but because the pain from this gas can be so debilitating that it literally will keep me up at night. I also can't say for sure why this is or what like the reason for this is. Hormones do crazy things and I can never predict what's gonna happen, whether it's in breastfeeding or pregnancy or trying to get pregnant, etc. However, the working theory is that it has something to do with my diastasis recti. And what that is basically the separation of the abdominal wall muscles in pregnancy. And it happened pretty severely to me because I don't know if you saw my Instagram stories during pregnancy, but baby O was a legitimate acrobat. Like, we're going straight to the Olympics, that's for sure, because it was intense. So I really wasn't surprised when I went to pelvic floor physio and she assessed me and she was like, yeah, you got like a pretty deep 3-finger separation, which basically means if you put like 3 fingers, that's hard to do, 3 fingers together, she can like push that down between my 2 abdominal muscles and it'll just go like all the way down to like whatever organs are in there. It's really terrifying to watch it happen. For me, diastasis recti can mean that you have pelvic floor issues like peeing yourself all the time, and also of course digestive issues because things are just kind of like not well aligned in there anymore. Now, if you were to search, how to deal with bloating on YouTube or Instagram or on the internet, you're gonna find a bunch of influencers who are telling you to, eliminate this or restrict that, go on an elimination diet, whatever. I have to be honest. Obviously, I know all about this. I'm a registered dietitian, but between COVID and work being crazy and trying to raise 2 babies, I barely have time to feed myself, never mind have to think through a whole new elimination diet and restricting things and finding new foods and finding alternatives and all that kind of stuff. Food is such a joy for me in these really isolating times, in COVID times. So the thought of having to like restrict some of my favorites really bums me out. And also, I'm a little weary of restricting foods that I really like just because of my history with orthorexia. And actually, my orthorexia started as a result of an elimination diet. And I really am all for like adding things to my diet or adding things to my lifestyle or finding little tweaks that I feel like I can digest, no pun intended, but I don't want to do anything extreme. I'm just not ready for that. To get a little bit more insight, I brought in my colleague and friend, Andrea Hardy, who specializes in GI health as a registered dietitian. So thank you so much for joining me, Andrea.
Thank you for having me today.
Okay, so give it to me quick, give it to me straight, because I got a lot on my plate, Andrea. So what are the 3 things that I really need to focus on this week?
Yes, so instead of taking out food or focusing on elimination diets, 3 simple things you can do. The first biggest one is making sure you chew your food well. And so, of course, that requires us to take a little bit of time when we're eating, which, as a mom of 2, is probably very tricky. So slowing down, making sure you start the digestive process in your mouth and chewing well can really prepare your body to digest and get things moving. The second one, I know you enjoy drinking bubbly water. We've talked about it before. Consuming a lot of air or bubbles when we drink can definitely contribute to bloating and gas. In fact, one study showed that when we consume carbonated beverages, the air can end up in our colon quite quickly, as soon as 15 to 20 minutes. And so cutting back on those bubbly waters and switching to flat waters can be really helpful in reducing that bloating and gas. My third tip is all about that gentle movement post baby, because there can be a lot of muscular and structural changes. I know you experienced diastasis recti, so making sure that you kind of move to help that gas move along can be helpful. Gentle stretching, yoga, walking, your super fun diastasis recti exercises, and deep belly breathing can help with abdominal wall tone, stretching that diaphragm, getting that pelvic floor functioning a little bit better.
Amazing. Okay. Well, I am ready and really got a lot to think about here, but I think this is manageable, and this is, something that I'm much more keen on doing and keeping up versus taking on a massive elimination diet, especially considering just like how much I have on my plate right now. So thank you so much, Andrea. Wish me luck.
Yeah, I hope you do great with these tips.
Thank you. Okay, folks, day 1. And just gonna finish off my La Croix. This is my favorite flavor, the peach pear. So good. Very refreshing. So bubbly, so sparkly, so effervescent, so refreshing, but also so gassy. I get it. So to make this transition a little easier for myself, I got this, I don't know what you call this, like an infuser, like a water infuser. So I'm gonna put some blueberries inside. I feel like that'll add a little bit more flavor, make this a little bit more exciting. And I don't know, I feel like I need to like squish them. You guys tell me if my technique is totally off. I don't know. I just feel like more flavor is gonna come out if I squish them a little bit. And a lot of fruit is not in season right now. So I figure I'll finish off these blueberries. These are really good ones. And then maybe move towards like frozen fruit for the rest of the week. So we'll switch it up, keep things interesting. So screw this bad boy on. Let's get some water. I'm trying to be excited about this. Okay. Look at this. It feels so good. Also, it's, I like having a nice reusable water bottle. So, and this is a really cool one too. Tastes pretty plain, pretty boring. Maybe I need some ice. Ice, yes, like a cocktail or something. Am I just lying to myself? Why is this so hard to get off? It doesn't want me to have the ice. Oh, yeah. You know what else it needs? Lime. Yes, lots of lime. Just like, let's make it taste like a gin and tonic on a Monday morning. Okay, let's try this again. Round 2. Getting excited, getting pumped. Cannot wait for this flat, boring ass water. All right. Much better. I mean, it's not a cocktail, but it's something. It's something. We're gonna make it through. All right. I'm gonna go through a lot of fruit this week. This is gonna be the hard part because I know what time it is and I have about, 20 seconds before E wakes up. So to eat this slowly, I think I'm gonna have to like give up salads because it's gonna take me way too long to eat this. I might have to switch to getting my vegetables in via soup and smoothies for the next little while till we can try this out properly. Can you hear O screaming? Yeah. That, my friends, is why I have to wolf things down really quickly.
She has no idea if the taller baby can take on its mother or its mother's mother.
Okay, so this whole slow eating tip thing is gonna be probably the hardest thing I need to accomplish this week. As a mom, and I'm sure all the parents out there can attest to this, there's just like so few hours and moments in the day for you to have a peaceful meal, never mind like a peaceful sip of coffee. So me trying to juggle my work and parenting 2 kids in COVID times, it's like I'm lucky if I get to eat, period. Never mind get to eat in peace and quiet and like not rush through a meal. When I became a parent, probably the first thing that I noticed that changed was that I started eating really quickly. And when I thought about it, it was like, because you just don't know when the baby's gonna wake up or someone's gonna have a meltdown or you're gonna have someone screaming at the table or you're gonna have to pass the baby off to your partner so that you can take turns eating, because it's really hard to eat with a baby on your lap, especially like hot things like soup. I think the key at this point is to make sure my salads are like really energy dense, like not lots of nuts and seeds and quinoa and other little add-ins like that, because otherwise it'll take, like, to fill me up, I will be eating all day long of just like vegetables and stuff. All right, gonna try to get a quick walk in with O here. Might not be the most relaxing walk, but we're gonna get some exercise. We're gonna get that gas moving. This is my life right now. All right, we had a good little walk there. O had a good nap. I hear him starting to kind of stir, so I'm gonna get us inside. But I definitely do feel like my digestion is feeling a little bit better right now, a little less gassy. I always find after like a little bit of a light workout or some walking, that's generally when I feel my best. So I kind of think that it's when I'm like laying in bed or really sedentary when it really catches up with me. So hopefully this gets us in a good spot right before dinner. And he's ready for dinner. Okay, so I actually feel a lot better this morning without the sparkling water being like part of my early morning routine. Like I probably would drink a whole soda stream worth of sparkling water when I wake up. So instead I made another one of these blueberry lime concoctions. Probably will switch it up later on today. But for now I'm going to make myself some tea because once I finish this, then I'm going to need more hydration. And I think it's time to have some like flavor in there. Don't judge. Good. Whew. Just got in from a really brisk walk because it just got so hot. I'm not used to this. It's middle of November and that in Canadian is translated to mean winter. So I was like bundled up and I am schwitzing. I am like coated in sweat right now. So gonna go deal with that situation, get myself changed, on to the next activity, I guess. I hear that O is just getting ready to wake up. Time to do some of these really boring ab exercises. There's no power crunches going on here. I'm not allowed to do that right now. I know you're like, what are you doing, mommy? No, gross. This is why I can't work out. Okay, get off me. Okay, so some strategies I am trying to employ with this whole like chewing your food slowly and making sure that it's thoroughly chewed before you swallow it, not just like wolfing it down, is I'm choosing to eat basically only when the kid is asleep. And I know that is hard for a lot of people when we have like times a day where we prefer to eat. Maybe I'm not like super hungry yet, but I just know that if I wait until maybe I am super hungry, that may also coincide with when the baby wants to eat or the baby wants to be changed or the baby wants to be entertained and the baby's screaming. So I need to make some compromises here. Typically when I eat things with like a spoon, I would choose like the biggest spoon or the biggest fork that I have so that I can put more on the spoon and like get it in my mouth faster. With these two things being employed together, I'm now using like a smaller spoon. So like less is getting on the spoon. And I cut up my strawberries small so it's not like a huge chunk and I'm like shoveling things in. My husband's gonna be very happy with this new protocol because he thinks I eat like a slob most of the time, and it's true, I do. And that is out of complete desperation to just feed myself or something happens. So Here's to a hopefully peaceful meal while O is asleep. So today's strategy for getting in my veggie fix without having to chew a salad for an hour is I just kind of put them into a vegetable soup. And this is actually a soup that I had made before I gave birth, and I just like froze like a big bunch of it, which is generally what I do with soup. Lots of tomatoes, some zucchini, lots of bell peppers, black beans, corn, onions, garlic, I think probably. It's like a spicy kind of Mexican style soup. It's really, really tasty. But I'm just realizing now, of course, after I thought it out, that like the beans may undo the, you know, the benefits of not having to chew all these raw vegetables. So we're gonna see how this does on my little gut. We are going to see. It feels so wrong to chew so much, but I'm gonna try. I think one of the reasons it feels wrong as a mom is because it almost feels like I feel guilty that I'm taking this much time to feed myself. I'm gonna enjoy this meal. Oh, so last night was not my best night. I had the worst abdominal cramps and pain and bloating and gas, and it was like, it kept me up at night, and even like into the morning I was not feeling so great. And that was like, even though I didn't have any sparkling water and I chewed my food super well. In fact, I had soup so that, you know, it was even easier to digest. But that's actually probably why I was having issues, because we ordered in some like Japanese udon noodle soup, which is like my favorite thing. And it's like tons of noodles in this like a big bowl of salty broth and like sauteed cabbage. Had like a whole order of edamame to myself. So it's like my favorite meal. Probably the combination of all the cabbage and the beans and the tons of salt probably didn't feel so good to me. And I totally get that. So it's like, I'm always collecting this data and I acknowledge it. But you know, every once in a while I still want to enjoy this meal. So I think this probably goes to show that there may be some other underlying IBS issues and symptoms and maybe some food intolerances. The changes that I'm making right now feel like changes that I can realistically stick to, that actually feel good to my body, rather than, you know, cutting out all the foods that I love. So maybe down the road I will look into working with someone like Andrea to like really hone in on any maybe smaller intolerances or any kind of other triggers. Right now I'm just sticking to these small manageable changes. It's actually working for me. I feel like the progress that I've made is enough and I'm feeling really good about it. So I'm totally going to drink this, and I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I messed up on my diet, I am a failure, I'm the worst. None of those thoughts are actually going through my head right now, because I have to make this, you know, sustainable. It has to be realistic, something that I can do forever that actually feels good to me. And having the sparkling water, having my beloved La Croix, feels good to me. But I think what it actually comes down to is that I'm probably gonna wanna have more of the sparkling water stuff in the mornings when I'm more active, and that's when the gas is not so bad. And then as I get towards the end of the day, towards dinner, that's when I probably wanna switch to flat, because that's when I start to feel a little bit more uncomfortable. I'm not doing as much activity. I'm just like sitting down at dinner and then laying down in bed. So I'm going to enjoy my La Croix. Let's just enjoy this quick little sound, this sound effect, for those of you who are into that. Yeah. I just automatically do the pinky because I'm fancy like that. I'm super bougie. I'm gonna enjoy this and back to shooting. So here's a new little insight of mine. I think because I don't enjoy flat water as much as sparkling, I'm actually drinking less water overall. That's kind of a problem for a breastfeeding mom, because I have noticed my supply is dipping a little bit. So I think right now I'm having to kind of balance my competing priorities, and you know, that is like bloating and gas versus feeding my baby. You could totally say to me like, well, you just need to try harder, Abbey, you need to make a priority, and you need to just do better at remembering to drink that water. Sure, you know, you could judge me, but I also have to, you know, acknowledge that I'm like in total survival mode right now. I am struggling right now to manage my business and parent 2 kids in a pandemic, and I'm okay with being compassionate and kind to myself and cutting myself some slack. I'm just going to do what I feel like I can do and what I can manage. What I'm going to try to do is fill up that kind of fruity flavored water or make some like iced tea and focus on that, you know, first thing in the morning when I'm more likely to feel that thirst and to feel like I have a real drive to drink, and then to make that sparkling water available to myself as an option for those times when maybe I'm less likely to or less inclined to like just like go and fill up my cup. At least that's what I'm gonna try. And we're gonna see how we can make this into a sustainable habit. And I think this video is actually becoming really all about how to make a health promoting habit that you can actually stick to, that is sustainable. And I think this is a really good lesson for everyone for any kind of other health promoting habits as well. I do have a long way to go. I mean, I'm not like cured in a week or anything, which of course would be unrealistic to even think that was possible. And it will take me probably some time to heal my diastasis recti or recti, which I do think plays a big role in my issue specifically. I know there's like a ton of videos and blog posts out there promising to like cure your bloating overnight. But for me, a lot of those recommendations that I read or see or hear are just not sustainable, to me at least. I mean, I was not even interested in never having sparkling water again, but I have found that just cutting back on it a little bit, and of course, kind of balancing that with my competing priorities to like get enough hydration, has made a legitimate difference. So I hope that this video stands out in the sea of anti-bloating videos to help you realize that you can get relief from digestive problems without extreme restriction. And sometimes it's a bit of a give and take with your symptom management and the other things going on in your life. And on that note, that is all from me today. Please be sure to give this video the thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment below on your thoughts on this, what has worked for you. Also, if you like these kind of vlog style videos and you want to see me do more of them, I'd love to do more of them, so let me know, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!